Hi guys, and welcome to another episode from your friendly lecturer from around the corner. Today we're talking about how to retrieve sources from the web when you're given a reference to a journal, but you don't have a live link that you can directly click to. So we're going to go through a few steps as to how to take that reference you've been given and retrieve it off a journal or a website that sits behind the paywall so you cannot get it directly for free. So this is what we're doing. You're having here on the screen an example of a class that I've done, and it's got a list of additional reading. This additional reading is not linked directly, so you cannot click anywhere in here to retrieve what you want to retrieve. Therefore, we're going to have to do this in a separate way and put these references into Google and try and pick them up. So let's see what happens if we try and do this. Let's try and pick the first reference, stick it into Google, and see what we get. You're getting a list of results that prioritize the journal itself. The journal is usually behind the paywall. So if you click on it, it's going to take you to the resource, but you won't be able to see it directly. Now, you see, we've got the article here, but there's nowhere that we can link and click to get the PDF. So we need to go through some additional steps. Now, you will notice that in the middle of the screen, usually you've got something that says institutional access. So if you're already a student at the university and you've got access to the university library, this is how you get through in order to break through the paywalls and go and retrieve your article. So let's click the first option. There's Shibboleth and there's Open Athens. They operate in similar ways. Let's go for the first one. You have to select where you are. So let's see if we can find UK. And now that we found UK, we need to find one of the institutions that we're in. So I'm going to pick for this one, the University of Westminster, which is over here. Now this, you'll notice, takes you directly to your login page. So from within that login page, you can actually go through your library subscription to the journal. So we can do this to log in. Oh, it doesn't remember my password. So again. So it's trying to log in. Let's see what's going to happen. Right, now we're back to the same page as before, but now we actually have the access to download the PDF. So if you click on the little link that says download PDF, there you go. The article has opened. And what you can do, if you press the button to download, you can download this on your computer and keep it for later and access it and read it whenever you want. So you've managed to get something that was sitting behind the paywall, and you got through it and you picked the resource that you needed. Let's see what you do now if you try this process and it doesn't work. Let's try and see if we can get another resource by following the same process. So let's try and pick this one. So we pick it up, we put the reference into Google. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, here it is. Here's the journal. Right, you see, same process. It is asking us, it's showing us the first page, and it is asking us to log in. However, what happens if we log in for this particular one, we won't be able to get it because this university's library has access to some of the sources in that database, but all of them. So if you go through the process of linking that I've done earlier, it's going to bring you back to this page, but there's nowhere an option to download the piece. If you don't have it, what do you do then? Now you need to think a little bit about creatively how you can overcome the barrier of a paywall for a journal. And there are some clever ways in which you can do this. One of the ways in which you can break through these barriers is to think about whether this author has actually placed this article in a different version, perhaps a conference version or some sort of presentation version or a draft version of the paper, somewhere that is not covered by the paywall. So what you do for this is that you go back to Google and you put the same information. So you can put the same title and you can put the name of the author. And then you might get the same reference, but for somewhere else. You see here, the first result that you get is a paper on SSRN. Now, SSRN is one of these free repositories where a lot of academics go and place their papers for people to pick up. Now, is this the same paper as before? Well, yes, it is, because it's got the same reference here. So you can see it is placed in the same journal as the one we were trying to access before. But this particular version here is not, it has the same content, but it's not exactly the same as the published version. This is what allows the author to place it on the free repository. So you see, if we open this, then we are getting this paper. It is exactly the same as the other paper, but it is the conference version. So you can access this, you can read the same information, and you can use it in the way that you want it, even though you weren't able to get the published version, the official version that was linked through your reference list that you saw at the beginning. Now, the only thing that you need to do, if you're using page numbers, because in order for you to reference properly, if you take, say, an extract on this page and you need to offer a page reference for your footnotes, you're going to have to say that it's in page number 2, but obviously it is not page number 2 in the officially published version, it is page number 2 in this version. So you need to go back to this citation that you get here from SSRN and use this citation in your bibliography and in your footnotes, so the person reading it can know where you got the page number from. So they don't think that you got the page number wrong, assuming that you have access to the journal version of the paper. So that's it. It's a quick way that you can get the same content and you can use it without worrying about access. So number one method is to go through your university subscription, through your library subscription, and get the official journal version of the paper. But if your library does not subscribe, then you can try and do this and look through the information that the author himself has put on or herself has put on the web to retrieve one version of the paper that says the same stuff. It's valuable to you. You can offer an adequate citation because this is a stable place on the internet where somebody else can go and find this information. Now, here's another trick for you to use to kind of speed up the way that you're carrying out your research. If you're logged into your university library system and you've already gone through all of these things, the cookies in your browser are going to remember that you've been in there. And that means that the next time that you're looking for something, even if you're looking in Google in general, it will give you direct access through the articles that you want, even though you're within a paywall. So let's try this and see what happens. If you go on google.com and you put this search, for instance, International Investment Treaty Standards, and you run a search, look, you're getting all these results. They're not necessarily articles, they're not journal articles, they're not necessarily the thing you're looking for. If you go to Google Scholar, however, which is the specialized version of this website, and you do the same search, then look, it's going to give you journal articles that are talking directly about this topic. So if you're very careful about your selection of keywords, it could be that it leads you straight onto the source that you want to use. And remember this, if you have already logged in earlier because you were accessing the university library website, then the cookies on your computer will remember your institutional subscription and your credentials. So when you're getting those results, you will get next to it something that says linked PDF. Normally, this would be behind the paywall, right? But if you click on it, then the PDF will open automatically. So even though this is a journal that was within a system that you need to pay for within a paywall, for which you would need to go through the subscription process that we did earlier, because you've already subscribed and the computer remembers that you have a library subscription, your Google Scholar results are going to have this banner that says PDF directly available. You click on that, you get your resource, you follow the same process as before, download it, keep it ready to use for later. So this is a quick summary of the ways that you can speed up your research, especially relevant if you're working for your project or dissertation. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, remember to click that subscribe button, and if you like this video, to click the like as well so you get more views of me in the future. Thank you very much and see you later.